Hello my scholars, welcome to my school channel. My name is Alexandra, and in today's video we are going to be tackling the JAMB past question for English language year 2022. So stay with us, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So in this video we're going to be tackling question 1 to 22. So let's begin with question 1. So from the novel The Life Changer, which was written by Khadijat Abubakar Jali, what did the author of the book study? Option A, BSc Ed Mathematics. Option B, BA English Language. Option C, BA Literary Studies. Option D, BSc Political Science. So the answer to this question is option A, Bachelor of Science, Education in Mathematics degree. Okay, that is what she studied, and we can find this at the back of the text itself, where you have the about the book or about the author. We learned that she studied BSc Ed Mathematics. We also learned that she's an entrepreneur and she's the CEO of She's Boutique Afrique. Okay, so the answer to this question is option A. Question 2. The book describes Sally as a dash. Option A, the precious child. Option B, the quiet one. Option C, the friendly child. Option D, the holy child. The answer to this question is option B, the quiet one. And we can find this answer in chapter 3. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of the events surrounding that, this answer, okay? So in chapter 3, we learned about Sally. We learned about the circumstances around his birth. So as soon as he was giving birth, the mother died. And because of that, or we could say because of that, he grew up into a reserved child. He was reserved in nature, okay? He was reserved in nature, and that is why he earned that title, the quiet one, okay? So the answer to this question is option B, the quiet one. Question 3. Who was Omar's immediate sister? Option A, Umi. Option B, Omar. Option C, Salma. Option D, Tima. The answer to this question is option D, Tima. We can find this in chapter 1 of this text, okay? We learned that Umi is the mother of 4, Omar is the first child, Tima is the second child, Jamilia is the third child, and Bint is the fourth child. So that makes Tima the immediate sister to Omar. So the answer to this question is option D. Question 4. Umi's husband wanted to study law, but the Providence chose that he study dash. Option A, commerce. Option B, accounting. Option C, law. Option D, history. The answer to this question is option B, accounting, and we can find this also in chapter 1. Okay, so let's talk about what happened prior to this revelation in the text. We learned that Omar was given admission to study law at Zaria, that's the Ahmadu Bello University. Okay, so the author tries to reveal that, okay, this was the same course that Omar's father actually wanted to study before the province gave him accounting. So the answer to this question is option B, accounting. Question 5. The full meaning of IPO is dash. Option A, Independent Police Officer. Option B, International Police Officer. Option C, Investigating Police Officer. Option D, Investigative Police Officer. The answer to this question is option C, Investigating Police Officer. And we can find this answer in chapter 3. Okay, so the IPO had been given an arrest warrant of the suspects in connection with armed robbery, kidnapping, and extortion. And these were Zaki and Tali. Okay, so and that's how we got to know about IPO, or that's how the existence of IPO came in the picture. So the answer to this question is option C, Investigating Police Officer. Question 6. What is Umi's occupation? Option A, trader. Option B, teacher. Option C, businesswoman. Option D, nurse. The answer to this question is option B, and we can find this in chapter 1. Okay, let's talk about this event, okay? So we got to know that she's a teacher in chapter 1 when Bint gives an account of what happened in school, how the teacher was ridiculed, and out of concern, Umi tries to caution a child that, okay, it was unfair for her to push the teacher beyond what he knew. Okay, and so it was revealed to us why she was concerned about the teacher, because she herself was a teacher. So that was when we got to know that yes, she was a teacher. Okay, so the answer to this question is option B, teacher. Question 7. What is Ume's matric number? Okay, so we have option A, UG001, option B, UG0001, option C, UG001, and option D, UG0011. So the answer to this question is option A, UG0001. So we have 3041. Okay, so that's the answer to this question. We can find this in chapter 1 of the text, and we got to know that she's the first in the department. So it can be implied that she's the first person to pay the school fees and first person to register. So that's how we got to know our matric number. So the answer to this question is option A. Do not forget that you can take practice questions with our simulated JAMB CBT past questions. All you need to do is you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you have to download Myschool mobile app for your Android phones and Myschool software for your computers and laptops. Please go ahead and download and start practicing now. So moving on to question 8. What is the full meaning of EMEC? Okay, so we have option A, examination, malpractice and ethics committee. Option B, examining, malpractice and ethics committee. Option C, examination, malpractice and ethics convention. Option D, examination, management and ethics committee. The answer to this question is option A, examination, malpractice and ethics committee, and we can find this in chapter 7. So we see that Salma was involved in examination malpractice, and so the committee had summoned her, and that's how we got to know about EMEC. So the answer to this question is option A. I believe you're enjoying this content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 9. What is the full name of Salma? So the answer to this question is option A, Salma Muhammad. Okay, Salma Muhammad, and we can find this in chapter 2 of the text. Okay, option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 10. Who was the narrator of The Life Changer? Option A, Salma. Option B, Umi. Option C, Omar. Option D, Bint. The answer to this question is option B, Umi. Okay, so how do we know this? Okay, a narrator is someone that tells a story. It's usually a character that tells a story. And the character telling the story is Umi. And we know this in chapter 1. From the first chapter, the first page, we know that it's Umi that's talking. Okay, so it says they were, we were, okay, and then in the second paragraph it says Bint, my 5-year-old child. Okay, so who is Bint's mother? Bint's mother is definitely Umi. So she's the narrator of the story, and so option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 11. How old is Bint? Option A, 6 years old. Option B, 4 years old. Option C, 5 years old. Option D, 7 years old. The answer to this question is option C, 5 years old, and we can find this in chapter 1. Question 12. What question did Bint ask her teacher? Okay, so option A, how to say good morning. How to say what is your name. How to say you're welcome. Option D, how to say that's very good. All this in French, okay? So the answer to this question is option D, how to say that's very good in French. Okay, and we can find this in chapter 1. Now, what's the event surrounding this question? We see that the teacher walks into the class and asks the pupil, how do we say good morning? And then Bint answered the question. And in order to ridicule the teacher, who acts as though he knows everything, okay, she said, okay, the teacher replied, okay, that's very good, because Bint answered the question well. And then Bint threw the question at him, how do we say that's very good in French? Okay, so the answer to this question is option D. Question 13, who were the people in the car? Okay, so who were the people in the car? We can find this answer in chapter 4. The car specifically is Benz. Okay, option A we have Lawan and Labaran. Option B we have Habib and Labaran. Option C Lawan and Kabir. Option D Labara and Zaki. The answer to this question is Habib and Labaran. So option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 14. How much did Habib give Tomiwa personally? Okay. So option A 10,000 naira, option B 5,000 naira, option C 30,000 naira, option D 20,000 naira. Okay, so the answer to this question is option D 20,000 naira, and we can find this in chapter 5. So in the text we learned that Habib gave Tomiwa a bundle of 500 naira bills. So we imagine a bundle of 500 naira notes. We weren't told the amount of money in total, but then Habib instructs her to give 10,000 naira to each of our roommates, and she should take 20,000 naira. So we have to do the calculation. So if there are 4, including Tomiwa, the 50th person, and Tomiwa is taking 20,000 naira, and the other 3 are taking 10,000 naira each. So 20 plus 30, okay? That's 50,000 naira. So personally, Tomiwa has 20,000 naira. So Tomiwa is giving 20,000 naira personally. So the answer to this question is option D. Question 15. How much did Tomiwa give a roommate? Okay, so the answer to this question is option B, 10,000 naira. Okay, so she gave them 10,000 naira each, and we can find this also in chapter 5. Option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 16. What was Omar's JAMB exam score? Okay, so the answer to this question is option A, 230. So it's got 230 out of 400, and we can find this in chapter 1. Okay, so option A is the correct answer to this question. Do you have questions you would like to ask? You can go ahead and ask your question in this platform. How do you go about this? All you need to do is you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can ask as many questions as possible, and solutions will be provided to you within a short period of time. Now moving on to question 17. What is the full meaning of the acronym EMAL? Option A, examination malpractice. Option B, examination misconduct. Option C, examination management. Option D, examination manners. The answer to this question is option A, examination malpractice, and we can find this in chapter 6. We can also find this in chapter 7. Do you have a better explanation or solution you would like to share? Please feel free to share this information with us. All you have to do is you click on the comment section, indicate the question number and the solutions you would like to share. Question 18. Who introduced the snail delicacy? Option A, Salma. Option B, Ngozi. Option C, Ada. Option D, Tomiwa. The answer to this question is option D, Tomiwa, and we can find this in chapter 4. Question 19. Nothing happened. My friend didn't feel like giving you a number, so she gave you mine instead. Who is the friend? Okay, so the answer to this question is option A, Salma, and we can find this in chapter 5. So let's discuss about the event that happened in this chapter. So Labaran and Habib gave Salma a ride, but then Salma refused to give them their number because she knew their intention and she wasn't ready to date either of them. So she gave them Tomiwa's number instead. Okay, so the next day, Habib calls Tomiwa's line and they went out on a date, actually. So Habib noticed the difference and then confronted her by saying, "You are not Tomiwa." And then Tomiwa made the statement, okay? So the person in question, or the friend in question here, is Salma, option A. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 20. It might be said that there is some kind of sibling rivalry between dash. Option A, Tima and Bint. Option B, Tima and Umar. Option C, Jamila and Umar. Option D, Jamila and Tima. So the answer to this question is option B, Tima and Umar. So this is typical of the society where you have the first child and the second child always in this sibling rivalry, okay? So we could see this in chapter 1. There was an altercation between Tima and Umar. We were seeing it was consistent, okay? Unlike Jamila. Jamila just said 1 or 2, okay? Bint did not even say anything at all. But then there was this altercation between Tima and Umar, exchange of offensive words, exchange of offensive remark, and all of that. So option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 21. One reason the narrator had the habit of entering a children's room unannounced was because dash. Option A, to monitor their hygiene and tidiness. Option B, to monitor their prayer life. Option C, to check on their welfare. Option D, to keep them studying their books. The answer to this question is option A, to monitor their hygiene and tidiness. We can find this in chapter 1. So women usually go into their room unannounced to ensure that they are maintaining personal hygiene. So that's the reason. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 22. According to the story, one of the following is true. Option A, Tomiwa and Ngozi are neighbors. No. Option B, Ada and Salma are classmates. No. Option C, Salma and Tomiwa are rivals. No. Option D, Salma and Tomiwa are roommates. Yes. So the answer to this question is option D, Salma and Tomiwa are roommates. We can find this in chapter 4. So we see during the registration of hostel, we see that Tomiwa, Salma was paired with Tomiwa and some other girls. There were 4 in the room: Ngozi, Ada, Tomiwa, and Salma. Okay, so option D is the correct answer to this question. We've come to the end of the segment. I believe it was impactful. I believe you've learned a lot. So thank you for joining us. Do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.